Good morning, my friends. Today we are doing grammar lesson 8.10 on noun clauses as object of preposition. And this is our last day on noun clauses, so yay. Hopefully you have a firm understanding of what a noun clause is and all the different ways they are used. Hopefully these aren't too hard for you to find. If you struggle with the preposition chapter, they may be, but I'm going to give you as many hints and clues to help you find them as possible to make this fairly easy. So let's get started. All right, so when a noun clause is acting as an object of a preposition, well, we know that an object of a preposition has to follow a preposition. So the very first thing we're going to do is we're going to have to find a preposition. What I've noticed is a majority of the time it's going to be following the first preposition in the sentence, and the rest of the prepositions are usually a part of the noun clause. So what I'm going to have you do is find the first preposition in each sentence. And if you look at this list on bullet point 2, I have given you the most common ones, and all of the ones that are used on your practice is in this list. So if you're struggling to find the prepositions in the sentence, use this list to help you, because these are the ones that are in all of the examples, okay? After you find that preposition, then because it's a noun clause, it's going to start with an introductory word, all right? So find the preposition, find the introductory word, and you know that you've got your noun clause. If you've got a preposition and one of these introductory words doesn't follow it, you're not in the right prepositional phrase, all right? Now, once you've found that introductory word, most of the time, your clause is going to go to the end of the sentence. There's only a few instances when this is not the case. We're going to go over one of those when we do our practice on the next slide. But just to put it out there, majority of the time, it's going to start at that introductory word and go to the end of the sentence. All right. Now, sometimes these can be confused with adjective clauses, but we are not going to worry about that today. I don't want you to get confused when you're looking for these. So when you are doing your practice on your own, you're only going to do the sentences that have the noun clauses acting as object of preposition. So pay attention to which problems I ask you to do when you're doing your lesson today. All right, so let's go over some examples and see how to find them, and let's make it as easy as possible for you today. First example, I am interested in how animals adapt to dry environments. So the first thing I want to look for is the first preposition I come to. So I look at my words, I am interested in. All right, I know that in is a preposition. Now the next thing I need to see is the next word an introductory word? Is it on this list here? And how is an introductory word? Now I see that I've got my preposition, I've got an introductory word. I should be able to go to the end of the sentence. Now, how do I know if I can go to the end of the sentence? The very simple way to do this is to make sure that you've got your subject and your main verb in front of this preposition, okay? So if I have I, that's my subject, and what I am. I am interested. So I've got I as my subject, I've got am interested as my main verb. That means the rest of this is going to be my noun clause acting as an object of a preposition for in. So I get to underline the rest of it and I am done. All right. Let's look at the next one. My father taught me about what I should do to ride my bicycle safely. So I start at the beginning of the sentence and I look for a preposition. The first preposition I come to is about. I look at the next word. Is it an introductory word? Yes, it is. I double check and I make sure that I've got my subject and my main verb in front of this prepositional phrase. So my subject is my father. What did he do? He taught me. So I've got my subject, I've got my predicate. So about what I should do about what I should do to ride my bicycle safely is going to be the noun clause that's acting as the object of the preposition about. Now, when you are writing your answers, when you're doing your practice, it's asking you what the noun clause is. So do not include the preposition. The only reason we're finding these prepositions is to know where our noun clause starts when it's acting as the object of the preposition. But the preposition is not a part of these noun clauses, so do not include them. All right, let's continue our practice. I am impressed by how much determination the cyclists show. So I start at my beginning, I look for a preposition. The first one I come to is by. Now, what is our next word? Is it an introductory word? Yes, it is. I look at the beginning of the sentence. Do I have a subject? Yes, I do. Do I have a main verb? Am impressed. So I know that this noun clause goes to the end of the sentence. How much determination the cyclist showed is the object of the preposition for the preposition by. So there is my noun clause. Now, this second sentence, this is the one that I was talking to you about. That is an example of when it is not going all the way to the end of the sentence. And I want you to see if you can figure out why. All right, so let's start at the beginning like we normally do. Let's find that preposition. The problem of how I would make dinner while camping came up. So what's the first preposition you come to? Hopefully you said of. Now I look at the next word. Is it an introductory word? Yes, it is. There's how. Now, if I underline to the rest of the sentence, that leaves the problem. Well, that's just the subject of the sentence. But where is my main verb? If I underline how I would make dinner while camping came up, I have no main verb. So what's the main verb of this sentence? It should be the problem came up. So in this case, this prepositional phrase is splitting the subject and the main verb of the sentence, and it's smack in the middle of it. So our noun phrase, our noun clause in this case is how I would make dinner while camping. So this is the only instance where it's not going to go to the end of the sentence. And for your purposes, this does not come up very often. So as long as you're double checking that you've got the subject and you've got the main verb in front of your prepositional phrase, then you know that you're going to come to the very end of the sentence when you are writing these. All right, let's look at the third one. Spectators are astounded by how easy the writers make it look. So I look for that first preposition. You should have said by. Do I have an introductory word? I do. And I've got spectators, and what are they? They are astounded. So I've got my subject, I've got my main verb, so I get to go to the rest of the sentence. So how easy the writers make it look is the object of the preposition for the preposition by. The fourth one, we learned about. So there is your preposition. Do we have an introductory word? Yes, we do. And we is our subject, learned is our main verb, so we can go all the way to the end of the sentence. Let's look at the next one. We studied about which animals to adapt to dry environments. Now, I want you to look at this because there are two prepositions in here. Now, what if I'm looking at this sentence and I say, we studied about which animals adapt to dry environments. And I go, oh, to. To is a preposition. So to dry environments must be my noun clause. But can dry environments be a noun clause? Hopefully you said no, because what does a clause have to have? Has to have an introductory word, which we don't have. Has to have a subject, which the subject could be dry environments, but it also has to have a verb. So we don't have a complete clause there, so that can't be the preposition we're looking for. So we need to back up and find a different preposition. So if to is not the correct preposition, what other word can be a preposition? Well, you should see the word about. So about is the preposition. The next word after about is which. Now, that sounds more like it. We've got that introductory word, and let's double check to make sure. Do we have a subject of the sentence? We do. We have we. Do we have a verb? We've got studied. So we studied. So that means the rest of it is the noun clause acting as that object of preposition. So which animals adapt to dry environments is the object of preposition for the preposition about. All right. So if you find more than one preposition and you're unsure which one to go with, look at the next word. If it's one of those introductory words, then you're on the right track. If it is not, and you don't see a complete clause, then you are not in the right place and you need to back up in the sentence. All right, our last example. I throw the ball with what many consider perfect precision. So let's find that preposition. What do you say? Hopefully you say with. Now look at the next word. Do you have an introductory word? What? And let's look at the beginning of our sentence. Do I have a subject? I. Do I have the verb throw? That means I can go to the rest of the sentence. What many consider perfect precision is going to be my noun clause acting as the object of the preposition with. And remember, when you are doing this tomorrow, you've only got a few problems to do. It won't take you very long. But make sure that you do not include the preposition when you are writing the clause, because the preposition is not a part of the noun clause. This noun clause is just acting as part of the prepositional phrase. It's acting as the object of the preposition. So I hope this helps. I hope you have a good understanding of noun clauses at this point, and I hope that you start using these in your own writing to give it more depth and more fluency. So I hope you have a great day, and we will